Oh hey, didn't see you there. It's me, the Guppy, and I'm back. And today I felt like doing a tier list video on the all the multiplayer maps that are currently in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Um, at the time of filming, it's the 19th. I don't believe there's going to be any new maps added to the 6v6 game mode. However, I could be wrong, but as of right now, I think this is pretty much the final build of like the multiplayer map wise. So I think it's fair to say start doing a tier list on what maps I think were good, bad, and just downright terrible. So first things first, I want to get this out of the way. I'm gonna put Shipment in its own category because I personally love playing on Shipment, and I think it's a great fun map to level up your guns and stuff like that. But realistically, it's not like a good flowing map. It's just more of a fun map, and I don't want to rank it in these areas just because I don't really think I would do it justice putting it in any of these. I think Shipment being in its own category is perfectly fine to do. And I might as well start this off with, I guess we have Arlov Peak here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do an S. What I think personally is the best map in the game, and what I think personally is the worst map in the game. So, for just to make it easier, so I can compare these other maps to those two right there and see where I would be able to put it. So, personally, my favorite map in the game, which would come to no surprise to a lot of people, is Shoot House. I think Shoot House is a perfectly designed map for this game. I think that most game modes it flows perfectly good, and you can always get a lot of kills. There's always good coverage, and I feel like what I'm not never really struggling to find people on this map. I think it's a great map overall. And some of you might come think this is a surprise. Others may also agree with me. It's not Piccadilly is my least favorite map. It's actually Pseudo Harbor. I think Pseudo Harbor is the worst map ever designed in this game. Who makes a two-lane map and the lanes being so tiny that you can't even like fit three people diagonally across it? It is such a poorly designed map, and the fact that it's two lanes makes no sense. No objective play works good in this map. You play domination, it is not fun. You play hardpoint, it is not fun because then you have to funnel through the two lanes, and all the team has to do is guard those two areas, and you can't really move forward. Overall, I think Pseudo Harbor is one of the worst maps added to the game, and no one talks about it. Everyone says Piccadilly is the worst map, which I agree is a pretty bad map, but I think Pseudo Harbor is slept on being a bad map. And moving on from that, I want to go on to Arlov Peak. Arlov Peak is one of those maps that's it's in the 6v6 mode, but I think it's a little too big. It's a fun map. It can be a fun map. It has that big open field on the side, and the middle is a little like has a couple buildings. They have some good sight lines, but overall, I don't think it's that great of a map. I don't think it's an F tier category. I think it's more of a C tier. I think it's more of an average map. It's still fun and all. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move it down to D. It's still fun and all, but I do think it's a little too big for the 6v6 game mode. Moving on here, we have Atlas Superstore. I have a little bit of a bias with Superstore solely because in Warzone I only land super like whenever I start a game, like when it's my first game on, I land Superstore right away just because it's a lot of fun. And with the multiplayer map, I have a lot of bias towards it. I'm gonna put it in C because I know I know I just made these complaints saying that Arlov Peak was a little bit too big. Superstore is a big map, but you kind of get confined to three areas of the map, which would be the left side, middle, and the right side of the superstore. And I think that makes it flow a little bit better. And with domination and stuff like that, or just objective game modes in general, I feel like this map is a lot better than what Arlov Peak would be. Moving on, we have Azir Cave. Azir Cave, eh, I don't know how I feel about this map. Honestly, I think this map's kind of bad. I'm gonna put that down in D. I'm gonna put it below Arlov Peak too. So I'm gonna go like all the map all the way to the left is what I think is the best map in that category. I think Azir Cave is not a good map. I don't like the outside of it. There's too many buildings you can hide in. The cave part is the only like somewhat fun part of the map, but other than that, it's just not that good of a map. Broadcast was one of the newer maps they added, and I personally think this is a great map. I know it's returning from COD 4, and I think this will go to B. The only reason why it's B and not A is just because it's all indoors, so therefore score streaks really aren't, or not score streaks, kill streaks aren't really a viable option in this. I got a chopper gunner multiple times on this map, and quite frankly, I got like 2 kills with it maybe, because all you have to do is walk inside the massive building. Other than that, though, it's a great map. Like, kill streaks aside, I love this map. Cheshire Park. Cheshire Park is also a DLC map that was added. I noticed that the DLC maps in this game were better than what the base multiplayer maps were. I'm going to say Cheshire Park is also a B tier, just because the only complaint I have for this are the 2 sides are Sniper's Paradise. It is very hard to go around each side of the map just because you have the snipers that are there that will be automatically killing you right away. The middle area is a good fighting zone. I love that area, but like I said, these 2 sides are where my main complaints come from. But other than that, it's a good map. I'd say B. Crash. Crash gets way too much praise for what it is. I think Crash is a C tier map below Superstore, but that's my biased opinion. I think Crash is only good on like objective game modes, but like specifically shines on like Search and Destroy or Cyber Attack. I don't really think it's that good of a map. I think there's too many places that you can hide and shoot at people in camp, which is basically what this game kind of runs down to. But like it's very frustrating when you die from like 5 different angles on this map, and you just don't really know where they're shooting you from. Gonza, I think this is Gonza Raid. Forgive me if I don't say the name right, but this is F. This is going straight to F. Pseudo Harbor is going to stay behind, worse than that. But this one, I'm not sure if this is a 6v6. I could swear I played this in 6v6, but I can't remember exactly. It's just not a good map. It's way too big. The middle has way too many buildings that you can hide in and shoot at people, and it's just way too big of a map, and I just don't like it. Gunrunner? Gunrunners, I like this map. This is one of Modern Warfare's better maps, especially from the base multiplayer. I think Gunrunner is a good map. It flows well. The line of sights are all good, and whenever I do die on the map, it's always like, oh, this person was in a better position than I am, and stuff like that. I think that Gunrunner is overall a very solid map. Hackney Yard, too. Hackney Yard is, whenever I think of Gunrunner, I always think of Hackney Yard. I think they're both kind of like yin and yang. However, I will say Hackney Yard is lower, in my opinion. I think Hackney Yard's better than Cheshire Park. Not as good as Broadcast. I think Broadcast is better than Hackney Yard, but Hackney Yard's a lot of fun. I do notice on Hackney Yard, it only goes one of two ways for me. It's either I do really good or just get absolutely dominated. There's no in between. And then also, I think hardpoint on this map, I don't really like where the hardpoint spawn. But other than that, I think the map's fun. I think it flows good. But like I said, it's either you're doing really good or you're just doing very bad, in my opinion. That's at least my experience with it. Next one is Hard Hat. Hard Hat's a great map. I'm gonna put Hard Hat in A right away because Hard Hat basically, I mean, it was returning from Modern Warfare 3, so like you kind of know it's gonna be a good map because it's a returning map. But it really flows well. Like if you run along the outside of the map, you usually do good if you just kind of be cautious, and then you can always run through the middle portion too, where the giant building is, and that's always a good part of the map too. Overall, Hard Hat's a good map. So this is the Sawmill map. This one, I don't know why I love this map. I think this map is a lot of fun. I'm gonna put this one down. I'm gonna put this one down in C tier. I know it's not a good map. However, I like the map. I think it's a lot of fun to play on. I just like the lines of sight that you get to have, and so basically like ARs shine on this map, which I do personally like a lot. Kenor Hideout, I'm gonna put Kenor Hideout also in C. I think Kenor Hideout is a good map on paper, but there's a lot of like it shares a lot of resemblance with Cheshire Park, as in there's 2 massive lines of sights that snipers can just have a field day with you on. But other than that, I think it's still a good map. Just not my personal favorite. Tank Factory, also putting that in C. I think that's better. I think it's better than these 2. It's just too big. It's really just actually no. I'm gonna put it down in D, but it's better than the D category. I think it's just too big. It's just too big of a map to be 6v6. It's only good in like objective game modes. If you play team deathmatch on this map, you will have a bad time. There's no getting around it. Uh, Other than that, yeah, that's my issue with it. It's still fun, but it's just too big. Okay, Petrov Oil Rig. Petrov Oil Rig is a lot of fun, but I'm not gonna say it's a good map. I just have fun on it. So I'm gonna put Petrov Oil Rig below Havoc Sawmill. As you can kind of see, I'm getting a lot more C tier maps. Modern Warfare is a game where the maps aren't too all great. If I'm going to be completely honest here, but Petro Oil Rig, it's really close quarters. You need to use SMGs on this map. There's a lot of areas where I just feel like I die from complete bullshit. Uh, Here's Piccadilly. Piccadilly's going straight to the F tier. It is, yes, straight to the F tier. No flow. There is no flow on this map. I think one thing that Pseudo Harbor has over Piccadilly is that there is flow because there's only 2 lanes. However, Piccadilly is just so open, it makes no sense to me. The doesn't even get better with what's it called? With objectives. However, the saving grace for this, the reason why it's not the worst map in the game for me, is that I just typically do good on the map. You have to play like a complete bitch, but most of the time I do somewhat decent on the map, which is very weird. Other than that, yeah, no, I don't like it. I think it's a kind of a bad map, but like I said, it just doesn't flow well. So the next one is Romanza. This is also going straight to F tier. I think I actually had like Gonza Ray more than Romanza. Romanza, there's just buildings all over the place. You don't know where you're getting shot at. There's a you shoot once and then you have 6 different directions firing at you. It's just not. I don't think it's a good map. I think that they just added way too many buildings on it. Not a good map in my opinion. Rust. Rust is going to B tier, high B tier. Rust is a fun map. And actually no, I'm gonna go Rust to high C tier. Rust is a fun map, but it's just a really weird flow to it. I don't like it. I like this parts of the time where I don't like it just because like someone's just camping on top. It's not a lot of fun and stuff like that. But I also do get those good games where in it too. Ship Scrapyard though, I'm gonna put into B tier. Scrapyard, I'm gonna put high B tier. I think Scrapyard is a fantastic map from Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Ghost, and now in Modern Warfare. I think it's always been a good map, and I'm very happy they brought that one back. Next one I'm gonna do is St. Petrograd. I'm gonna put this one in D tier. I don't like St. Petrograd. I think it's better than Arlov Peak though, but I think St. Petrograd is pretty bad in my opinion. The 2 buildings in the middle, they're just easy to camp. This one side that's a sniper. Both sides are actually sniper's paradise. It's just a little bit big, and it's just not a fun map in my opinion. I just don't like it. Talus Blacklot, Talsic Back a Lot. I think that's what it's called. I'm gonna put this one in B, low B. It's fun, but it's only good in objective game modes. You have to play like hardpoint or domination. Other than that, it's not that great of a map. It's returning from Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty 4, which is like that game was more the map design there was a little bit different than what we see now in Call of Duty. They did like not really the 3-lane map design. They did more of other stuff there. And then the last one is Vacant. Vacant, I do think Vacant's a good map. I'm gonna put Vacant in A. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna bump Vacant down to B, move Scrapyard up to A. I think Vacant is a really fun map, and I just really like it in general. I think that it flows well. The only issue with it is that it's all indoors. Same thing that I had with Broadcast. But other than that, this is pretty much what my tier list comes out to. As you can see, most of the maps that bring up the top are kind of the remade maps. You have these 4 right here are all remakes. This is a remake, and then there's the last remake, I believe. most of the base Modern Warfare maps, which are all these are base Modern Warfare. This is a Modern Warfare. This all the base ones, if you haven't noticed, are all low tier. I do not like the base Modern Warfare. It was very hard to like this game at first when you weren't playing on Gunrunner or Hackney Yard. But then they started adding the DLC maps, which get better. Like I said, I always say that Shoot House is my favorite map in the game. Shipment's also one of my favorite maps in the game, but I can't justify putting Shipment on an S tier. But other than that, let me know what you think. Please make sure you comment if you disagree with me. And Guppy out.